What is up, Wretched Nation? Today we got something simple for you. I just want to take the horn off my bike. I mean, you got everything else off of it. Alright, we got our bike stripped down, doing a few different things to it. And once I got that tank off, I kind of want to take this horn off. I want to take it off and clean up this whole left side of the bike a little bit. It's always called the ugly side. And I just think that, you know, this horn is just a little weird. And I think they'll look so much better without it. And let's be honest, most people on bikes, if they see something or they're trying to get somebody's attention, they're not going to hit the horn. They're going to rev the bike up. I mean, what would you rather do? Hit the horn or rev this exhaust up? So let's take it off and see where we get. So we got the horn unhooked or unbolted. It's got just that one nut that sits right there. Two little wires. We'll pull that off and figure out what we're gonna do with the bracket. All right, we got the bracket unbolted, and I wasn't sure if those bolts went in the head, but it looks like they just go through. So you don't have to worry about anything there. Now, I don't know if this is structural. Like, I don't know if this bracket is meant to tie these two heads together. I'm not sure. But just in case it is, we're going to leave this bracket on there. But what I want to do is I'd like to chop it and leave something there to attach them, but get rid of this whole hunk, and it's going to clean everything up. We'll get this wire off and figure out what I'm gonna do. All right, guys, I took the bracket off and flipped it around just out of my own curiosity, and you could almost fit it back without doing any modifications just by flipping it around. The stud on the end does hit your intake manifold, but if you were to unthread that and basically take off that rubber isolator and that stud, and you just had the actual metal bracket, I bet you it would fit if you wanted to do this without cutting anything. Just an FYI, but I'm gonna cut it. All right, I was ill-equipped, so we used a Dremel, but we have it separated. Like I was saying, I'm pretty positive you can put two nuts on this side and back out this threaded bolt, and you would just be left with a metal piece. And you could probably just flip this right around, and for visual, it wouldn't be there. But I'd rather just chop this up, or you can make a new plate. It's actually a thick piece of plate. I'm gonna sand that down a little bit, and we're gonna need to paint the ends. Even if you don't want it to look perfect, it would sit like this, but you could flip it around like that, and I'm sure it would still look pretty decent. All right, we got it ground down. It's pretty straight. It's not perfect, but it's not going to be that bad. I found this can of black spray paint in the garage. It's probably not what I should use, but it's what I got, so it's what I'm going to use. All right, guys, we moved the wiring around a little bit. I taped up the plugs and kind of doubled that back, so we should be able to plug that back in. And with the tank sitting down there, you really shouldn't see anything. We're over here waiting on paint to dry, and I just went upstairs and put this on my shipping scale. And for the horn and what little bit we cut off the bracket, that's 1.5 pounds. Some people are very interested on removing weight for their bike. I know a lot of people are going to say it's a Harley, what does it matter? But if you're interested, doing what I'm doing today is going to lose you 1.5 pounds. All right, so that bracket dried just enough for me to be able to put it back on. As you can barely tell, our horn wiring's up here. It's going to get lost and everything else, which I think, pretty sure the tank's going to cover all that anyways. Paint doesn't look too bad. I said everything's pretty much going to be covered up. These bolts did have some thread locker on it from the factory, so I put some more back on there. But it's looking pretty good. I definitely like the look of it now. It's going to look so much better once the tank's on and everything's finished. But it's probably going to be a little bit before I get that done. So comment down below, what do you think about this? Do you plan on doing it to yours? A lot sleeker look, £1.50 savings if it matters to you. I think it's pretty good. But if you don't mind, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. As always, keep it wretched.